You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm thy friendship. Oh,
you know what time it is. On the road with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lames. Buckeyes by a billion. We in the building with over 100,000. We represent from the uttermost to the public housing. And if we don't play, our wide receivers got your secondary shook, so they cook them like Bobby Flay. Hey, stay out of my way and trust me, cause I know it's OH. Somebody please give this brother an IO. Come on.
What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk about college football with real fans. I'm Devin. That's Funky. And we're coming and bringing you a live commitment today of Cincere Johnson, rated the number 4 linebacker, also rated the number 8 edge in the nation. But Funky, before we get into that, man, how's your day going, man? Everything all right? You good, bro? You calm, collected, and smooth?
It's going good. I woke up feeling like a national champion today, Devin. And guess what? Throughout the whole day, guess what? How I felt like a national champion. So it's honestly been a great day, and I'm excited and I'm happy for Cincere Johnson, and hopefully get to watch this top 10 defensive line commit to the Buckeyes. So I'm pretty excited. We got to keep the best. It's important to keep the best in the state, and he's a Glenville kid. So I'm very, very excited, and I hope we get some nice tidbits, not just with him, but hopefully with Jameer Perez as well.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Chat, appreciate you guys showing up, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and share this feed on your X, your Instagram, and your Facebook for us. If you could, that'd be a huge help. Super chats are open. If you got a question or a comment for us, put it in there, and we will get those answered for you. But yeah, man, still predicting a good day for the Buckeyes here with Cincere Johnson, 6'3", 240-pound, top 70 player nationally, both on 247 and on 3. They have him as the number 70 and 71 player in the nation. It's that debate on whether linebacker, whether he's a defensive end or not. I know Ohio State is recruiting him as a linebacker, but as we know, Ohio State will utilize players kind of as they grow. You know, Sonny Styles, safety to linebacker. CJ Hicks about to play some defensive end this year. So we'll see what happens now. But he's an elite player athletically, right? A lot of athleticism, a lot of length that he can use as well. So, I mean, you go watch his film, he's got the skill set to be a pass rusher, I believe. He's elite in coverage as well. Wide receivers that are 30, 40 pounds lighter than him. I've watched his film and seen him be able to cover those guys fairly well. So he is a top player in the nation. And as we have seen over the past couple cycles, just because he's an Ohio kid doesn't mean he's going to Ohio State. So his Glenville product here, Ohio State, James Laurinaitis and the staff have done a phenomenal job of making him feel like a priority, right? They've went after him just like they would any other of these like big time linebackers in the nation, the Tyler Atkinsons and stuff. They've shown Cincere Johnson that they really, really want him to be a Buckeye. And I think it's paying off. He's been to the camp a couple times. He's visited several times. This is a Penn State, Ohio State, Alabama race right now. Actually, I think the race is over. He's a Buckeye. I don't know why I said it's a race, but we'll see, man. We need some good news. We like it. Funky, what do you have to add to that?
Yeah, you're totally right. And we said this for a bit now. Cincere Johnson was always the number 1 priority for the Buckeyes. He always was. And that's not us saying that because, he's probably going to be the one who commits. No, we were saying this even when it was, USC, Alabama, Penn State. No, it was, we always thought the Buckeyes, but we always thought he was also the number 1 priority for the Buckeyes, Devin. And James made that very clear on his multiple visits there. We got word of that pretty early, hearing that he was the one of the top 5 guys on our board overall, and the number 1 linebacker, and definitely the number 1 player in the state of Ohio for us. It wasn't Albert Hill, it wasn't whoever else. Can't even really think of too many of the names, but it was Cincere Johnson. So this would be a really massive get if he decides to become a Buckeye today. And obviously, we are very, very, very much expecting that. I mean, he's a freak athlete, and like you said, he's our defensive end, linebacker. We're recruiting him at linebacker, but kids develop, kids change. We've recruited defensive linemen who ended up winning our national championships at offensive line. So all we know, he's a freak athletically, and he's a damn good football player, and he's from the great state of Ohio. So those are the main things I'm looking for. And he's a stand-up kid who really wants to be a Buckeye. He's really been no BS this entire time, and yeah. I'm enjoying it, and I enjoy kids who do the recruitment process the right way, Devin, where they take all their visits, they don't commit too early, they don't I'd feel weird if you would have committed in January and then go and take visits to Penn State or Bama or USC. That would have felt a little wrong to me, but he did it the right way. He had his conversations. Ohio State had to recruit him. It was definitely a recruitment. We definitely had to talk to him, make sure he feels like a priority, and really win this recruitment over a team like Alabama. And he visited Alabama, had a great visit to Alabama. His mom, and he has a lot of family in Alabama. So this was hopefully when we get him, we can say, hey, this was a really great get, and a really hard fought win for the Buckeyes. And that's what I'm expecting. And I could really respect the kid though who does this the right way. And he's clearly not bag chasing, or else he would be looking elsewhere.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Yes, I got a haircut. I appreciate you guys noticing that. I had to. It's hot as heck here in Tallahassee, Florida, so it had to come off. But yeah, man, it's becoming kind of a rare scene anymore to watch a kid go about his recruitment the way Cincere Johnson has. It's extremely rare, especially knowing he's a top 70 kid in the nation. And I just kind of tell you my thoughts here. I'm not sure there's much differentiating, top 150 kids in the nation, right? Maybe even top 200 kids in the nation. You might have your 1 or 2 outliers, Jeremiah Smith, and maybe an elite 10 or 20 players in the nation. But once you get up to this mark, man, a lot of these players can be interchangeable. We've seen how the ranking system goes throughout the time, but I mean, still Cincere Johnson, one of the top, recruits in the nation. And it is a breath of fresh air to see a kid's commitment not come down to the wire of a bidding war of all these things that college football is just not, right? So we kind of know what's going on, but it's a breath of fresh air to get on here and know that, somebody's about to have a commitment that has done things the correct way, done their visits and all this. And I say correct way. And that's an opinion. You know what I mean? Everybody goes about their recruitments differently, but obviously the elephant in the room with a defensive end that's going to be committing today at 2:00. We're not going to get into that on this show. We're going to sit here and celebrate a big time pickup from the Buckeyes, right? He has a teammate, Jameer Perez. Hopefully this can kind of push that along as well, the flipping him from Florida. So we'll see, man. What we're going to do is I'm going to pull up. It's over there on the freaking, man, I hate this. It's on the Con3 recruiting channel. So I got to pull them up. I got to share it. We're going to mute it, right? It's going to be playing on the side of the screen here. But I'll mute it until we get to the good stuff. I'm really not interested in what their analysts have to say about Cincere Johnson. I don't know if that's mean or not, but I don't really care. I'm mean. I'm a mean guy. I'm just mean, man. That's who I am. I don't like Con3. I don't like how they handle their business. But it's a business, man, and they got Cincere Johnson committing live on their channel. It's supposed to start at 12:30 here in 2 minutes. So, Funky, what's your thoughts on on being able to keep an Ohio kid like him in today's recruiting world, when we know what's going on, we see what's going on, you know, even Glenville being that Ohio State pipeline, how hard do you think it was for the Buckeyes to keep Cincere Johnson, right, in state, hoping and praying he commits to the Buckeyes? We think he's committing to the Buckeyes. We're very confident about that. But how much of a recruiting win is this for the Buckeyes?
It's an absolute win because at the end of the day, and we see it all over the country, it's hard to keep kids or keep talented kids going to your school, especially when they've been favored to go to your school for so long, because you automatically have that big target on your back and you have to compete with, especially with the top 70 kid like Cincere Johnson out of position of need, you know, that linebacker edge role that is been dominating college football now for years. I mean, look at some of the best teams of all time in college football history, those Georgia teams, those Bama teams. They're ran by dominant linebacker defensive end play, you know, where they're able to get to the quarterback, stop the run, get off the edge. I mean, Abdul Carter was even a linebacker for a bit. So it's extremely important. And I never really felt recruitment was too much in question, but it's a win, or hopefully a win. Hopefully a win, and a win's a win, Devin. In this new era, and there's no kids that are shoo-ins because those kids are still. I mean, he's still getting paid a really pretty penny, and we still have to convince him to turn down hundreds of $1,000s more from other schools to commit to us. And no matter how much you like a team, Devin, hundreds of $1,000s for kids who have probably never made, you know, over $10,000 in their life is a ton of money. It's life-changing money, and they could put that into an investment account and have a nice, you know, nice income for the rest of their lives. So it's pretty life-changing money for these kids, and having to convince them to turn down even more life-changing money is hard to do. So, yeah, but I think this recruitment was so important because we got to keep the Glenville kids going to Ohio State, because all it takes is a few, you know. Like how would we react if we lost Cincere and Jameer Prez this year from Glenville? Like, man, that would be disappointing. That would be, extremely disappointing, and that would be something I would really, really be concerned about, and I would want us to change our approach. But the fact that we're still gonna have we're gonna have like the number 2 class in the country, and we're number 2 in average, number 2 in class. I mean, that's absolutely amazing for the type of kids that we're getting, Devin, because these kids aren't leaving. These kids aren't leaving. They're actually, I mean, obviously some of them are going to leave, but they're not leaving because of money. They're not here bag chasing. They're going to stay through the process. And will it work out for all of them? No, it won't. But these kids are giving it. They're going in with the right mindset, with the right foot. And I absolutely cannot wait to hopefully get Cincere Johnson to join the Buckeyes, and we can watch his highlights here. But I mean, he's dominant, and we know he plays good football. We know it's a surefire kid. This kid's not going to be bad. This kid's not even going to be average. This kid's going to be a starter at Ohio State for probably multiple years. You know, like, he's going to be that type of kid. He'll be an NFL pick, and I cannot wait. It's great. Top 70 kid in the nation. Those kids do not grow on trees like that. So, and top 70 from Ohio, pretty much, to me, that's a top 10 kid. And for me, he's always been a top priority, like a top priority. I'm not just saying that today. I've said it for weeks and months. He's been top of my list of my priorities. So, and here we go. He's on the screen. So,
well, let's get it.
I'm just feeling good and feeling blessed.
I'm excited to see what's going to happen here. So we got your favorites. It's Ohio State, it's Penn State, it's Alabama. We see them there. What was it about these programs that made your final list?
Each program has its own legacy in its own. And, each program provides, what it provides and development and everything like that. So just boiling down to 3 top schools was amazing, and it was a dream come true.
All right. Well, we got all 3 fan bases in the chat right now. They're ready. So, Cincere, the floor is yours. Say your thank yous and let us know where you're committing to college.
First of all, I want to say I'm thankful for everybody that had my back this whole way. The Glenville community, my coaches, my teammates, my loving parents, and I've also forgot the man up above, my Lord, my Savior. He's blessed me so many ways in different forms, and I'm just so thankful for everything. And for any young guy out there, just keep working and just keep pushing. that being said, I'll be committed to.
Oh God.
The Ohio State University.
Cincere Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
What is he wearing,
tried
Devin?
next.
Is that a chain?
It's Ohio State. You're not going far from home. Why were the Buckeyes the best fit for you?
The Buckeyes was the best pick. It's home. It's a brotherhood, and I'm excited to be here.
All right. Have you told Ryan Day? Let me get the Buckeye helmet. We're celebrating here at the On3 studio as well. Have you talked to Ryan Day and let him know that you're committed? What was his reaction?
Who, Ryan Day? Hey,
Yeah.
It was amazing. You know, he embraced me and my family with open arms, and I'm just happy to be, and, you know, just becoming a Silver Bullet and be a Buckeye.
Buckeye fans are going crazy right now in the chat. When Cincere Johnson steps on campus in Columbus, what can Ohio State fans
Hey, do we
look
want to
get?
keep listening to this,
they can look to
Funky?
get
Should we
somebody
shut her
that's
down
hardworking.
and start
No,
talking?
shut this
Ohio
stuff
State,
down.
Shut her down.
Shut her down.
Go. Geek country out of there, man. That's big time. I tried to act surprised. I don't know if you saw, man. I put my
Yeah.
arms up and everything, like super surprised, see, super pumped. But
Well, it's
big
like,
time, man.
let me troll some guy in the message board right now, because that's a top 10 defensive end commit that we got. So let's go. I'll be out for give me 5 seconds, Devin.
Yeah, you're good, man. It's dude, today's day and age in recruiting, with all the everything that's being thrown these way, the way of the recruits, every offer that's being thrown their way, this is a big time pickup, man. We know the house settlement thing happened, right? And honestly, man, this is a whole other show, but I got to say a little something about it. I think that has put now more confusion into the college football recruiting. But this time it's not the NCAA's fault, right? It's the fault of the teams that are deciding, no, man, we don't want to follow the rules. And the reason why they don't want to follow the rules is because that the fact that there were no rules on nil gave them the only advantage they have. It gave them the only hope that they had to become relevant, and that is to buy recruits. So you still have those certain teams out there that are just going to go out and try to buy recruits. Ohio State will never play that game. The type of players that Ohio State is recruiting will never play that game. And the reason why you see Ohio State do what they did last year is because they don't play that game.
Absolutely.
So you can't have it both way, Ohio State fans. You can't want Ohio State to go out and sign these recruits and pay that big money and then keep that culture that they have, that brotherhood that they have. I'm sorry if you think Ohio State should go out there and do that. That's fine. You're allowed to think that. You can keep thinking that. You can keep arguing that. I'm not one of those guys. I love what they do. And Cincere Johnson matches that so much. You heard him talk about his Lord and Savior.
That was
You
great.
heard him talk about his brotherhood. I mean, these are the players we want right here. This is what we want, man.
Absolutely. And we just talked about it a little bit before, and we're like, these kids are coming here to be Buckeyes. They're Buckeyes. They're not here for money. Cincere definitely could have got more money elsewhere. But you heard what he said. He's sounded super excited. And that's why I'm excited to get these kids. Some kids, some people won't be as excited because they're like, oh, he's just a Glenville kid. He should be going to Ohio State. No, that's not how it works anymore. And even when that worked like that, I should be excited for every single commitment that we get, especially top 70 from the state. And the way he talked about the Buckeyes, the way he talked about the Silver Bullet, his truly genuinely was excited, and like that pumped me up, Devin, because this is a big moment for him and his family and for us as Buckeye Nation, because he's an extremely good player, extremely good player. I'm pumped up, man. That commitment got me pumped up. The way he just talked about us right there, because as much as we can even replay it just to show his reaction. Or what are you turning on his huddle, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I got the highlights on. Yeah.
I mean, man, that was exciting because he has a chain. He told Ryan Day, he's like, "Do you tell Ryan Day yet?" I mean, of course he told Ryan Day. Everyone knew that was an open secret. But
Told him that a week ago, my dude.
yeah, actually, someone sent me a clip of his visit video, and in the visit video, you could see the moment he committed to Ohio State in it. And it was pretty funny. But yeah, thanks. You know who sent me that, so I appreciate you. Hopefully you're tuned in right now. And but I'm excited, bro, because it's just I'll always be excited for every commitment. 2, I'll be even more excited for a top 100 commitment. 3, I'll be even more excited for an Ohio, a kid from Ohio committing to Ohio State. Because again, that's super important. I mean, that's more important than anything else because those are the kids that aren't going to leave when it gets rough. Those are the kids that understand. Those are the kids that want to be here. And when you want to be here, then you're not going to leave. So I'm excited. I'm pumped up. And that my day's great, Devin. A 10 out of 10 day. And we'll celebrate a birthday tomorrow for myself. And then in 3 days, we're going to celebrate B. Moses' birthday. So the days are just going to get better and better every single day here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to say something, and it's going to create a little something in the chat and anywhere else that wants to create it. So if you're one of those fans that you love the Tyler Atkinson, you love the Xavier Griffin, and you're really hoping Ohio State lands one of those players, well, they just did. This is the kind of he is that type of player, man. This is Ohio State has been recruiting him like he is that type of player on that level of these guys. And, I'm sure you can pick things out about Tyler Atkinson's game that is a little better, right? Same with Xavier Griffin, but you can do the same here. You can watch this, look at this film, watch what this guy does on the football field. You can pick things out of his game that he does better than Xavier and Tyler Atkinson. And even more than that, you see the mentality that he has. He has a football mentality. That's what this kid wants to do. He wants to live for the Lord. He wants to live for his brothers, and he wants to play football. What else do you want out of a football player, man? That's a 5-star top linebacker, defensive end in the nation right there. Big time get up from the Buckeyes, man, and I'm excited. It's going to be a wild, wild ride, right? So make sure you enjoy these moments and don't take them for granted because as you guys see, right, there's a commitment coming up at 2. It's going to be a wild ride, man. And like I said, this new house settlement rule they came out with, I think is going to make the ride even more wild because it just is, man. So don't take these moments for granted, man. This is a big time pickup for the Buckeyes. It's going to be easy to fall into that negativity right now. It's going to be very easy. I know that I have fought doing that, right? Because I know how aggravating this recruiting process can be. But dude, the Buckeyes been doing this for years and years, man. This coaching staff, they know what they're doing. We just won a national title, guys. I mean, please, we just won a national title. We're going to have a top 5 recruiting class. And more importantly than landing the number 1 class in the nation, I think it's more important to remain consistent with your recruiting process, right? And the Buckeyes are the number 1 team in the nation at doing that. Top 5, top 5, top 5, top 5, top. I think that's more important than going number 1 and then next year you're number 15, right? It's that consistent level of recruiting that is going to put you in these playoffs every year. That's going to put you in the race to win that national title. And that's what the Buckeyes are doing. They're going to win some, man. They're going to lose some. Some of them, yeah, we might be able to dive in and find out, yeah, I wish a coach would have done a little something different here in this recruitment, but they didn't. But for the most part, man, some of these losses that Ohio State, you're going to see them take because it's not over. They're going to have losses. They're going to have wins that you don't expect. It's not going to be the coach's fault. As much as we're going to want to say, hey, man, it's this position coach's fault, it's not all the time, I promise you. And more often than not, in Ohio State's case, it is not the coach's fault. They've done everything they can in their power to get this recruit to win this recruitment. And then some teams just come in with more money. They come in with more, sometimes lies to players, telling them what they want to hear. But Ohio State isn't going to conform to this world of recruiting that we have now. They're just not going to do it in the sense of trying to take advantage of rules, take advantage of how this is set up now with money and different things. They're not going to play that game. And again, this is a big time recruitment that was won by the Buckeyes. It was won the right way by the Buckeyes, by building a relationship, by being honest with the recruit. James Laurinaitis showing him the developmental aspect of Ohio State. Arvell Reese showing him the brotherhood side of this program. And Ryan Day walking him through the spiritual aspects of this program, the future, the academics, everything else. So huge pickup by the Buckeyes here, man. I'm excited to finish out this recruiting process for the Buckeyes. But again, be prepared for the ultimate letdowns and be prepared for moments like this, man, where a kid matches the mentality of the Block O. He comes and joins this team. And let's sit back and watch, man. I'll put some serious money on watching who has more successful careers. If you pay attention to, linebackers and defensive end, Cincere Johnson is about to be up there on the list of his fellow recruits in this class of having a successful career. So, Funky, you got anything else you want to add, man?
Yeah. Well, now we can talk about it a little bit, but I think I was on the show with, was it? Yeah, it was you, right? 2 days ago about where I talked
with.
I think it was just me and you, right? Was it 2 days ago or was it a while ago?
No, it was 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was 2 days ago. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
are my days conforming? And we kind of talked about how I said a team is being prepared to sue the NCAA. And now I could say it because, I've known about this for a while and I told Devin about it, but I put it on the board officially and we know the rules. Put on the board first and then we can talk about it on the show later. And today I wrote a little tidbit of a team that is preparing to sue the NCAA for the House First settlement. And that team is USC. And we were saying this even before the Luke Waffle stuff too, Devin. So so this is not just because Luke Waffle, bad timing, guess good timing for me saying this, but it's USC is preparing to sue the NCAA, and I've been taking my time the last couple days. I heard about this 6 days ago, and I got it confirmed to me a little bit recently, about a couple days ago, 2-3 days ago. But I heard a tidbit out of it from a pretty good source, but I got it confirmed to me. And I went around asking other people from all across the country, players from across the country, staff members from across the country, recruiting analysts, low-level staffers, or people that kind of know and I asked for what their opinion. I asked for some TV people, some Fox executives. I asked a sports announcer, a very famous sports announcer, what he thinks about it and what he thinks is going to happen to this USC versus NCAA settlement. And he thinks it's USC's one to lose. They think the NCAA has this one, and I was given a 90 to 95% chance that the NCAA is going to win this lawsuit, which is pretty much going to ruin all these programs that are, stepping out of line. And at this point, it's considered cheating, Devin. So doing cheating, something that's not going to be allowed, and it's going to be ruined. And that's why I'm not too worried about that commitment at 2, because I would still put a pretty penny on that kid having his college success at a place not named USC. And I'd be very confident in saying that. And I don't blame the kid either, because the kid promised a certain amount of money, and that certain amount of money is hundreds and hundreds of thousands more than Ohio State, and that's after tax. So I don't blame the kid. I'm not blaming the kid. This none of me saying this is blaming the kid. It's just blaming the rules and blaming the team that's doing it, because it's blatant cheating, and they're gonna get the right punishment for it. And it's not really gonna be a punishment. It's more just gonna be they're not allowed to do it, and their punishment's going to be on their own actions, and these kids are going to leave because they're not going to have the money to pay the kids legally. So they're going to legally play the kids, and they're going to play a bunch of ineligible players, and we all know who that goes. Especially, they're very familiar with playing ineligible players, Devin. So they might just go around and do that. I mean, I guess we might be too a little bit, but it's gonna end bad for USC, and I'm telling that's coming from straight from the source, even from a guy who's participating in it, a guy who spends millions of dollars of his own money every year helping USC. He straight up said, "Yeah, but so what? What if it fails? Oh, we go back to winning. We're 8-4 again. Like, so what?"
Yeah.
He's like, "We don't give a crap if we're 8-4, or 3-9, or 4-8. Like, we don't care. It's either you're 11-1 and competing for a national title, or you're not. That's the thing. Is sorry, yeah, keep going.
I was gonna say, you know what you call that? You call that desperation.
That's what it is.
At its finest.
And that's what he said too. They're not denying it either. It's desperation.
Yeah.
Because as much money as they're spending on these recruits, it's not nearly as much money as they're gonna have to pay Lincoln Riley if he gets fired or if they buy him out. So for them, it's like this is a better investment, and now we get a chance to sue the NCAA, which has been a little bit historically successful, even though they don't even think it's going to work. They're just thinking there's a chance, so might as well at least do it now until the NCAA really, or what I'm not even saying. I'm saying the NCAA, but you know what I mean. The governing body, whatever that is called. Is it going to be NCAA? Is it going to be some weird commission? It could be a few things, but let's just say I'd put money with anyone that these kids that are committing on these classes, the majority of them won't have their their big time moments at USC. And I bet you it's going to be a huge problem. We already see it at Oregon. It's a problem with Oregon is stop spending this FU amount of money, Devin. You know that's the problem because they already made that mistake. They already made a mistake in the past, and they're trying to remend it, and they're doing a pretty good job. But it's going to show in this class. They're not going to have a top 3 class like Ohio State this year, and Ohio State has a number 2 class in the country. With we know some 5 stars and 4 stars are ready to commit as well, so it's just going to get a little better. We're number 3 in average. The only teams that have better average than us is Alabama and LSU, and Alabama has a better average because they have like 5 kids committed. So we'll see how their average looks once they have 15 kids committed. aka it's going to go down a lot. So really, I think in my head, we have like the 2nd or 3rd best class in the country right now. If we take in total everything, it's USC, us, and LSU. And LSU's got a great class, and they're gonna lose their 5-star receiver. He's gonna go elsewhere. I forget his name, but he's gone. He's not staying at LSU. And then USC is spending over. I'll go out here and say USC. I did a little math before the show. You know how much? Yeah, like let's just say this: they're at that minimum. They're guaranteeing $30 million over 2 years. I'll say that. So maybe it's not going to be $30 million for their freshman year, but they're guaranteeing over $30 million. I'll say that. If we go in the 4-year totals for these kids, it's well over $30 million. It's closer to 50, 60 million. If we go 4-year totals for 1-year totals, it's going to be probably around 15 million. Yeah.
Man, I love seeing the trolls pop up out of the woodwork, man, and talk like.
Are they in the chat?
Oh yeah, you didn't see the one I just put up, man. He said, "We crying right here. We're crying because USC took another Ohio prospect."
He's not an Ohio prospect.
Yeah, and your butt hurt. Get over it. Promise you, buddy, we're not butt hurt over here when we compare ourselves to USC and you guys buy a recruit out from under us. That's fine. There's no butt hurtness over here.
Yeah, national champs. It's and not getting vacated either. So
yeah.
And like, who gives a crap about SC? They haven't produced a good defensive line recruit in who knows how long. Remember the last time they won a big defensive line recruitment battle over Ohio State? Corey Foreman. And you know where he's at now? He didn't even start at freaking Fresno State. So that was between us, Clemson, and Ohio State. What was that, 2019 or 2020? So I'm not sweating.
It's not just USC either, man. I mean, I'm hearing that the team up north, I mean, they're trying to get with their state representatives to pass a state law.
And that's against Big Ten bylaws. So
so again, you're gonna see these desperate teams. You can throw Texas in that category of desperate teams. Steve Sarkisian comes in, they expect a national title, right? I know they went a long way yesterday, but like, I mean, they're in that level. And now I don't know anything there if they plan on suing the NCAA either, but I would rather be where we're at, Ohio State. Like, I would not want to be in anybody else's position but Ohio State. I wouldn't want Ohio State to operate any differently than they are now. And this goes to winning on the football field. It goes to morally, ethically, the whole 9 yards, because what you're doing as a team when you do that, the USCs of this world is, you're trying to create like an unfair, bully type mentality of, we do what we want. We don't have to follow rules. We can do what we want whenever we want. And instead of grinding it out on the football field and getting your culture better, you're trying to do what society has trained us to do. And that's that microwave effect of, hey, I want things to get better instantly. So they're just trying to go out there and buy it. They're trying to take a shortcut, man. And the shortcut here is, hey, let's sue the NCAA, right? So we can have an advantage over all these other teams that are trying to follow the rules that were put in place. Now, why were they put in place? For the kids. These rules are put in place to help the kids out, to help these recruits out so they can have more stability in their recruitment and in their life. Like, that's what's going on here, man, because the wild, wild west mentality of throwing all this money around, it's going to be detrimental to several of these kids' careers. I'm sorry. It just is. There's no way around it.
It is.
It's going to be,
it already has
it's
been.
going to be detrimental. Yeah. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So Ohio State isn't doing that. They're not going to do things that are going to be detrimental to a player's career or life, man. It's just not going to happen. And you can act like it's not, and it doesn't affect them. They should be able to handle it. Man, these are teenagers. They're 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds being thrown millions of dollars. And you're going to act like, yes, they should get what they deserve to get. They should get their name, image, and likeness amount of money. When you're coming out of high school, you have never played a down of college football yet. You have not built your brand up yet in terms of college football or nationally. Now, you have to a certain degree at your high school, and you'll get paid for that. You will get paid for the work that you have put in high school. You will get paid a fair amount, right? That's how this world operates. You can't just go out and buy things that you want, like, or especially in the college. I said that wrong. You can go out and buy things that you want, but not in this instance here. It's not how this works. And rules were set in place, and you got teams like the team up north and USC that are just deciding to set an example for their entire organization that bleeds all the way down to their football players and say, hey, these people are trying to implement a rule that we don't like, right? I know the rule is to try to benefit the players and to help out the players and help out for the longevity of college football, but we don't care. That's going to take away the only advantage that we have, and that's money. And when has that been a thing for college football, man? So there has to be guidelines put in place. That's a well-known thing, but we expected fight from these teams that's their only advantage. And right now, USC, Scum, I mean, without nil money, Scum would have not even sign a 4-star recruit right now. I mean, that's just the truth.
That is
so
the truth.
They are desperate as well.
And I'll even say this. I think we get KJ Ford this weekend, Devin. I feel good about it. I feel like chances with KJ Ford and
say that,
shoot, what's his name? I'm totally forgetting his name. He just visited this last weekend.
Samuel Ford.
I feel good with Samuel Ford and KJ Ford. So not real worried. Yeah, I'm not real worried about like defensive line recruiting. And then you have Deuce and PJ, and yeah, I'm not worried, and I'll never will be worried, because guess what? Recruiting is it's not as meaningful as it used to be, with the portal and stuff. We're going to get kids every single year in the portal. If we have a hole, we're going to fill it. Look at this here. We just got Bo Atkinson and Logan George. That's a backup and a starter right there for depth and, legit playing time. I mean, Bo Atkinson is a legit star player. we compare him to JTT at his same age and same grade, he was better than JTT, and JTT ended up being a top 35 pick in the NFL draft, or top 40 pick at least. So I'm pumped up, and I'm not going to sweat about whatever happens. Recruiting, I'm never going to worry about too much. I'm always going to temper my expectations with every single kid that commits and every kid that leaves. It's not the end of the world. And it's funny because if you're on the board, it's an ongoing joke. When a kid doesn't commit, the thread will get 100, 200 replies. But when this kid commits, Sincere Johnson commits, it'll get, 20, 30. Because people love bad news. So don't be those people that are, getting hyped about bad news. Get excited for every kid that commits, because it's not a guarantee, and you never know who's going to be good. I bet you kids weren't, popping off about Austin Cerevel's committing to the Buckeyes, some 3-star from Ohio. And guess what? He's going to be our right tackle for 1 year, 2 year, maybe 3 years, Devin. So, or at least 2 years, probably 3 years. And so he's going to be a 3-year tackle starter, possibly, if he wants to. Because he's a great player, and he'll be a 4-year starter and a 3-year starter at right tackle. And he was a 3-star out of Ohio. So if that doesn't show you be excited about every kid, I guarantee you that thread on or whatever board we were on at the time got like 7 replies. And then the thread about some random 5-star that we lost to Miami got probably 300. And then that Miami kid ends up never playing a snap of college football in his life. So and especially in this new NIL era, it's like you just got to be careful who you spend money to, because no kids can't miss. Actually, I won't say that. There's about 1 kid in the last 3 years that was can't miss, and he's a Buckeye right now. So and he's about the only kid that was a can't miss. So but I'm super excited for Cincere. And you're right, these teams are desperate, and desperation rarely works, and it's not. And I really don't think it's going to work. And we're in the best position ever, Devin, the best position of all times. We're because let's say these house rules don't work. It might have screwed us over for a class or two, but guess what we're going to do after that? Our salary is going to be bigger than anyone's, because these teams can't really outbid us if they want to. Money is not an issue for us. It's more just standing within the rules in there. That's what people don't realize. It's not that we're broke. It's that we're just playing within the guidelines. If we want to play unlimited money, let's play unlimited money. I know I can tell you right now, Ohio State wants to play those games, and they will play those games if needed to. Just they know where it's coming, and they know they see the tunnel, and some short-term loss for some long-term victories, and that's the game they're playing. Because guess what? These kids aren't playing this year, Devin. They're not playing next year, Devin. These kids are probably not going to be contributors until 2028. I'll be freaking a grown ass man by that time, Devin. I'll be these kids. So by that time, the NCAA is going to look a whole lot different, and these kids are going to be probably not getting the money they deserve, or not deserve, but what they're promised. Because right now they don't deserve the money that they're being promised. But
no. Hey, real fast before I get into my little spiel. Thank you, Doug Zilla, for the $4.99. He said, "Happy birthday, Funk Master Buck."
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's golden birthday tomorrow, so I'm excited.
Amen. Sean Rollins, thank you so much for the $20, man. Shout out everybody in the chat showed up today. Steely, I see Rolling Coconut in there. Ain't seen you for a minute. Grandpa Buck, Barb, Fire, Fish, my dude Dennis. Appreciate all you regulars showed up. ABH, all y'all in there. I'll just tell y'all something, man. Okay, so here's some facts here. Ohio State won the Luke Waffle commitment. They won, right? He wanted to be a Buckeye, and shoot, you never know. Dude might end up a Buckeye. But USC comes in with an astronomical amount of money, over $1 million, right, to a high school defensive end. Let me just ask you, Mike Green, sorry, dude. Shout you out too, man. Do you want Ohio State to go top USC's offer? Put it in the chat right now. Yes or no? Should they go pay Luke Waffle $1.4 million to sign with the Buckeyes? Do you want him to do it, or do you not want him to do it? Yes or no in the chat. Funky, what's your answer?
Shoot.
You weren't paying attention. Do you want
Sorry.
Ohio State? That's all right, bro. I already know you, but I know you, bro. Do you want Ohio State to pay Luke Waffle, a freshman defensive end, more than they're paying any other defensive end on this roster right now? Do you want them to go pay Luke Waffle $1.4 million? Should they do it or should they not do it?
Absolutely not. I mean, and it's so
Okay.
funny to you because I just got a list of this is what USC is paying their players for. This is a 2-year deals for these players, by the way. They're paying Albert Hill $1 million a year, Waffle $1 million a year, Pepe $1 million a year, Mark Bowman $2.5 million a year. And they have 30 commitments and 4 other defensive ends already committed. So they're either going to be starting 22 freshmen or they're going to be forcing a lot of kids out. That's yeah. So
Bruh.
you hear what I'm saying? So
Dude.
like this is not sustainable. And so it's just literally it's just for a number on a screen. So I had to stand up to say that, Devin. It's literally for a number on a recruiting website. That's what they're playing for right now. They're playing for this. It's almost as bad as the North Korea type propaganda Michigan did at their spring game with Bryce Underwood trick play at the end of the game. It's almost as bad as that because like this is not going to work. It's like you're smarter than this. Everyone in the chat, you're smarter than this. Like we could do simple math in our heads. 30 commits in the class and it's June. Think about that. 30 commits in this class, it's June. That's twice as more than pretty much any team in the country. Most teams have 15 right now. They have 30. And they're paying these kids more money than anyone else. Do the math on it. These kids are getting paid over $1 million. Luke Waffle is getting paid $1.3 million is the number I got. I got $2.6 million 2-year deal. That's the number I was told.
That's just I mean, I don't even have anything to say to that.
And I know the guy that's paying the majority of Mark Bowman's contract, and it's quarterback money. It's quarterback money. It's ridiculous. And we're like, trust me, I was here saying Mark Bowman is generational and he's one of the best players I've ever seen in my life, and that's true. He's one of the best tight end prospects I've ever seen. He probably is the best tight end prospects I've ever seen, and he could be the best tight end that the NCAA has ever seen. And guess what? He's not worth that money, and he never will be. Like, so it's ridiculous. Sorry, go. Yeah.
You got this aspect too. Let me just talk about human nature real fast. So our human nature is we have a drive to do something, right? I had a drive to start a business, right? I wanted to be financially successful. I wanted my family to not have to worry about anything. And I wanted to be able to help other people. So that's what I did, man. I went out, I busted my butt. I'm talking about working 12-hour days for 2 years straight, maybe 2 days off. That was my life for the longest time. Well, then you reach that goal. That goal happens, right? You get that. You get all these things coming your way. Where does that drive come from after that? Once you get that, let's see. Conor McGregor, best UFC fighter ever, right? All of a sudden starts getting all this money. What happens? Falls off, right? When you lose that drive, when you are handed something in life, when you are given something in life, even when you reach your goals, it becomes extremely hard to find that drive to go further. And most of the time, a lot of people, that drive is for that money. Once that money comes, man, that sometimes that hunger leaves, that desire to leave, that competitive leaves because you're like, dang, I already made it. Ask yourself this. When you were 17 years old, if you woke up and somebody gave you $2 million, how much drive are you going to have to go out and find a job? How much drive are you going to have to go out and compete and to do things and to be the people? It's just the truth of the matter, man. I'm not saying that everybody's like that, like I still have that drive because I have a drive to help people. So that's why I still go out there and do the things that I do. But that is a hard thing to do when you are given all of that, like a high schooler given $2-something million to come play football. It's going to be hard to not feel like you've made it. It's going to be hard to not be feel like you're already at the top. You succeeded. My dreams are here. Because why do people want to go to the NFL? The money. So if you're giving them the money as a senior in high school, what do you think's going to happen, man? I mean, you see players all the time that are stars in college. They go sign this big NFL deal. They get that money. And what happens? They fall off. Now, not everybody's like that. That's not, again, I'm not putting it just, that's just human nature. There's no way around that. You can act like it's not, but once you get that money, you have to find something inside to keep that drive alive. right? There has to be something there. And that is just as hard as that drive that got you to that place. I'm telling you, it's just as hard. But more often
And
than not, I've seen people not pick that route of continuing that drive.
and Devin, I have my own personal story. I could really tell. I mean, as most of you all know, Division I track athlete, and for me, like it's not a little money thing because there's no money in track, but the end goal in track and field, at least for me, since I was a kid, was making it to college, becoming Division I. And the second I did that, or the second I came on the campus, it changed. It changed a lot. It went from I was extremely motivated every single day in high school, to work for that goal, Devin. But when you kind of got the goal, it's kind of like it's really easy to take a little steam off the gas. And even myself personally, I'm finding it hard to be as committed and as into it because I feel like I achieved the goal. And that relation to what you're saying, because they kind of achieved the goal. They got paid $2 million. Are you kidding me? $2 million. Yeah. Like if you're going to be able to make, I mean, if you get paid $200 million straight up in this day and age, you could probably safely make $150,000 to $200,000 a year just by doing nothing.
Oh yeah,
put
it in fidelity.
Yeah, exactly.
They give you 5% right now.
Exactly. Oh yeah, they give you 5%, and that's where 5% of 2 million is 100,000, right? Right? Maybe.
It is.
Yeah. 100,000, and you're making $100,000 for the rest of your life. That's life-changing money for a lot of these kids for yearly salary. Like that's a ton. So, I can my relation is a little different because but it's kind of the same because an end goal, like you said, it's human nature and it's weird, but it's true. And at Ohio State, you're playing for more because, and again, in Ohio State's not broke. Let's say this: just Ohio State's planning to spend around $20 to $25 million a year, while USC is planning to spend $20-25 million on a class. And there's levels to this. It's just different, and we're doing it the smart way. And let me know when USC is title favorites for 2026 or 2025. Oh, then also the title favorites we're going to be title favorites in 2026 for sure. We'll be mega favorites next year. Holy crap! I mean, we're going to be plus 200 next year, Devin, and I'm betting it because we're not losing. Yeah. We are going to win. Bookmark this. We are going to win the Natty in 2026. I could 100%. 100.
I feel you.
Yeah, and this year we're the title favorites, but we'll see. But next year we're gonna kill it, but that's why I'm not worried about anything. But yeah, keep going, Devin.
Let me ask you this: do you think there's a recruit in college football that doesn't want to be like Caleb Downs or JJ Smith?
No, and the number one, number two players in the country and the best on their side of the ball.
Okay, how did they get there? They got there by focusing on football. They didn't get there by going after the bag. JJ didn't go after the bag. Caleb Downs didn't go after the bag. He was offered more money in the portal, right? More than Ohio State's paying him. JJ Smith got offered more money than Ohio State's paying him. But what did they do? They came, they put their head down, they focused on football, they focused on their brothers, and now look, like they focused on the things that they should be focused on. And now what happened? They have a bigger brand than anybody else in college football. Tyler Axton wants to build his brand. You focus on football. You focus on the brotherhood. You focus on what you're doing on the football field. You win football games, and that's how your brand gets built. Your brand doesn't get built by going to Ohio State. And I'm not saying this isn't a Tyler Axton spiel. This is just a spiel in general, and saying, hey, man, I want you to help me build my brand. I want you to put my brand beside the Ohio State brand, right? I want us to team up as a brand together. That's not how you do it. This is football. In order for your brand to build, you've got to show it on the field. In order for you to show it on the field, you got to put in the hard work. You got to do it. You got to have that drive, man. That's how Ohio State pays high school recruits. They give them this, and they say, all right, if you contribute on the field, if you start doing these things, we're going to pay you this. Not only that, companies start coming in and offering your own deals. So you've got to show it on the field. That's how you do it. That's how Jeremiah Smith did it. Show me a player that went after the bag, right, and has a bigger brand than Jeremiah Smith or Caleb Downs. Show me. Where are they? Name the player. that went after the bag. You know the type of players I'm talking about, the ones that are all about the money. They're all about their brand. They're all about this. They're young. They never played a snap of college football. Where are they at? Where are these guys at? How big is what's his name? Shoe deal, Oregon. Neem Alford. Has he got shirts in Nike right now? Is his shoes flying off the shelves? Where are they at? Now, I know he has a long way to go and he could still do that, but I'm just saying, like, come on, man. Jeremiah Smith, you know what I'm saying? He puts his head down, focuses all about his business. Biggest brand in college football is
and
Jeremiah
that's going to
Smith.
help us out next year too, Devin, because guess what? You're still able to make money off your name, image, and likeness. There's no cap to that. You could. So these Nike can go out there or sorry, actual Nike. I'm not saying Oregon Nike. I mean, if Nike wants to sign JJ Smith to a shoe deal, but guess what? They can. They could do that. That's completely legal. It's just has to be approved by whatever the NIL system, which I'm not even fully sure how that's going to work, but I could guarantee it's going to help. Let's just say it's going to help us out because that doesn't go against the cap. If JJ Smith's getting paid $6 million from other companies, that goes zero against our cap. That doesn't affect our cap of what our $15 million at all, or whatever our cap's going to be. So that's why it doesn't worry me at all. And that's why it's good that we're doing this, because if let's say Caleb Down wants to stay for a fourth year, hypothetically, because this year really won't matter. And whatever, some car deal offers Caleb $4 million, $3 million, $4 million. Ohio State only doesn't have to pay him anything, and he's still making $4 or $5 million. We'll still give him a good chunk of money. We'll still give him $1 million. So give him 1.5 mil, give him $500K. But that $4 million he's making elsewhere doesn't count against our cap because it's doing it the right way. Because these guys actually built their image that's worth $1 million+ dollars. I mean, maybe not even that. And they're the biggest brands in college football besides Arch Manning. So I mean, this whole thing is kind of it's just ridiculous, and it's gonna be funny laughing at it in a couple of years, Devin. A couple of years we'll really see the total consequences of it all, and it's gonna be great. And cannot wait. It's such a great time to be a Buckeye fan because we're saying all this stuff about how other teams are doing it the wrong way, and we're the only team in the nation that will throw a little bit of a fit after not getting a team or having to explain this or have to whatever. But let's just say this. We were offering Luke Waffles $500,000 less than what USC was offering him, and he was going to commit to us. And USC had up it to over $1 million more than what we're going to pay him, because we were giving him about $600K a year. That's about the deal that I was getting reported about. $1.2 million for 2 years. 1.2 for 2 years. That was about the deal. And what USC is giving him $2.6 million. So even. Yeah, 1 to 1.4 to 5 million. I'm sure we upped it a little bit, so I'm sure we're probably paying them, $750K a year, probably about, if I had to, really guess. So and we still almost won.
That's just not.
And we still could.
To me. If I was in his shoes, I'm gonna be honest. I can look at USC and where they're at as a program, and I can look at Ohio State and where they're at as a program, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm not even. If we're talking that type of number. If Ohio State's going to pay me $750,000 and another team comes in that does not have a track record of doing anything on defense at all besides destroying your career, 200, an extra 250, an extra $500,000, it's not getting me there. It's just not going to do it, man. I'm sorry. That's where and I know it's a lot of money and stuff like that, but man, I don't know, dude. It all goes back to this. I'm just that dude, so I'm just going to say it all. The love of money is the root of all evil. This goes back to who you are as a person. What are your beliefs? What is your core values as a human being? And what's going to get you that longevity play here? Short-term versus long-term, man. And a lot of people, they're just stuck in that short-term vision because it's so new, right? Here in 5-10 years, it's going to be way easier for us to get on here and show you why taking the bag doesn't work. We are going to have evidence for days, but this is so new that you don't have a bunch of those negative, sad stories of a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, getting paid $2 million a year. And where are they at today? We don't have that. Where are they at today? But unfortunately, I promise you, we're going to have plenty of those. I don't like it. I don't want it to be true. I'm telling you, it's true. I know it. It's a fact. We're going to have a lot of those stories, man, and it sucks. And it hurts, man. If you care about people, if you care about this next generation coming up, it does suck. That's the truth of the matter. People are going to avoid talking about that. They don't like it, man. It's not a good feeling. And they'd rather just stay in the moment. They'd rather just stay in their nice, safe little bubble of, oh my gosh, you have $1 million this year. Okay, well, what you going to do when you're 35 years old and you come into a financial crisis and you're not used to grinding things out? What are you going to do then? You know what I mean? Like, this is life, man. I'm sorry. I don't know how else to say it, dude. Life is hard. You got to figure out, you got to learn that work ethic. You got to learn that responsibility. You got to learn to care for others. You got to learn to make smart decisions and all that. So, I don't know, man, but people are wanting to know if we're going to go live for the 2 o'clock Luke Wafel commitment. No.
No, I was about to say, Devin, I was like, I'm not. Like,
yeah. You just heard us go on this spiel about how this kind of stuff makes us feel. I'm not going to be a part of that. I don't want to. I'm not going to do it. You're not going to see us.
I'll be at his. I'll watch his NFL draft day. I'll be there for that. I'll watch that, and if he is there with whoever. But let's just say, this stuff. The collectives are dead. Collectives are dead. There's no such thing. There shouldn't be. And USC is still trying to funnel this money. So don't be shocked if some stuff happens between July 1st and signing day. So, because nothing's happened yet, because technically NCAA can't do anything right now. But it's going to be crazy time in July. The first couple of weeks of July is going to be nuts. You're going to hear stuff all over the place. There's going to be NCAA stuff. Your teams are going to be wilding, because it's going to be hard to have to report every single NIL deal to these schools. I mean, shoot, even me, because if you make over $600, you have to report it. And guess what? A lot of college kids make over $600 just working, real job or whatever. So I have to go. I'll even take you through my process, Devin, because we already got like this information sheet and we have to fill it out. And then we have to go through this. It's a weird thing. We have to download this app. It's a strange thing. And I'll be excited to talk about it when I'm actually going through it, because again, every college athlete making over $600 has to do it. So that's not a lot of money. So that's about 6 days of work, a minimum wage job.
Yeah, I'll say this too. Everybody's saying, we're going to sue the NCAA. How's it going to hold up in court? Let me just remind people, it's already held up in court. A judge made this decision. I got to run. I know I just opened up a box of worms there, Funky, by saying that, but I do have to get off here. I'm already going to be late to my 1:30 appointment, but they'll be all right. But Funky, any final words, any closing thoughts?
Just thanks for being here. Appreciate everyone being here. It's going to be great. I think we're going to have a few more shows today, I believe. Right, Devin? I mean, Edmonds and the main show? Is that today?
No. Edmonds is tomorrow. Or Edmonds is next week. Next week.
Oh, Edmonds is next week. Okay, sweet. Well, I guess we'll have the main show later today. Thank you. So that'll be
Buckeye Boys are going to be on.
Yeah. Sorry, I was laughing at the comment.
All right, y'all. Yeah.
Go Bucks, baby.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's a good time to be a Buckeye, dude. Don't let Buckeyes have lost on how many recruitments because of money over the years. So I missed my main point of saying, hey, man, if you're one of those fans that says, hey, don't pay Luke Waffle that amount of money, then you cannot be mad at Larry Johnson. But on that note, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Go Buckeyes. OH.
IO.